via ashrams, temples, and so I left that group yesterday night in Mumbai, and now I am in that area because we support a school which is in Gupta Kashi. It's a 500 children school, so that's a seva we do. And so we are going with Jean-Max tomorrow to visit that school in Gupta Kashi. And on the way, I told Bharat Bhushan.
That school is in India or France?
That school, I told you, Gupta Kashi. Gupta Kashi is near Kedarnath.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we are not talking about France. France is backing the project in India.
Okay. Yes.
There is nothing to see with France.
And
they are
so,
just French.
yes.
Nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
Two other friends who are going to see Gupta Kashi school also. And so that's why also I am here. And I met Bharat Bhushanji, who organizes this Yoga Festival. I met him in a yoga conference in Trivandrum. It was 2 weeks ago. And that's, we were even accommodated in the same house. So we discussed, and he told me, because you are in Rishikesh, please come and visit us. That's why I am here also.
Okay.
But maybe next time, for next year, I will be in India. And so we will organize something more in advance with because this time it was a little last minute, but it's nice also to do some things last minute also. So we will start by the subject, and I will record also, so the one who would like to have a record, it will be possible. You said by WeTransfer or this kind of things. We do Nadi Shodhana, the purification of the Nadi, to open them. But what does it mean when it is open? And so we will discuss about this and do some practices. So myself, I have been for the past 30 years mainly in India, working with good yogi, Swami Vijayananda. In fact, he was from France. At the age of 36, he came to India and he never went back to France. He dropped everything to stay with Ma Anandamayi, and and he did intensive sadhana. He was 18 years in Himalaya, 8 years completely alone in a place where I go myself now, which is called Dolchina, which is less solitary now, but still it's in full jungle. And also he was 10 years in near Almora, in a very quiet small ashram where it was silence also. So he practiced intensely, and for 25 years I was close to him. For months I could be every night with satsang with him, and he was telling us about 2 times a week he was speaking about this opening of the nadi, of the channels of energy. So I felt it was very important for him to do it, and I tried to do it by my own practice, and finally to write a book on it, but not a book purely tradition of yoga, but to put also neurosciences in it, because I am a psychiatrist, so I like to make links and to understand with modern sciences what can be said about these yoga notions. So this book is maybe 350 or 400 pages, so I went into details. For now it's only in French, but I hope it will be in English one day or another, because I bring materials and some new links between neurosciences and yoga tradition. So, in brief, on the physical plane, the opening of nadis is related to the opening of nostril, and on a more subtle plane, one could say it's related to the opening of the heart. But there are these 2 levels, you know, in yoga. We are in between physical and subtle, in between body practices and spiritual practices. That's the richness of yoga. So this question of nadi, it's also like this. So to be clear right from the beginning, we have one nostril which is more closed, one nostril which is more open, and it changes about every 2 hours, except at night, because at night when we fall asleep for 4:30, 5 hours and a half, we have one nostril which is closed and the other which is open. And so that gives the basis of what is called Sphara Yoga. Sphara Yoga is yoga where you are very attentive to the opening of the nadis, of the nostril and nadis behind. You try to open the closed nostril and to bring a balance between the two nostrils. And through that balance, you have a balance between the sensation of the two sides of the body. And through this balance between the two sides, energy, means the current of sensations, can enter the central channel, and is what we are looking for in Raja Yoga, means in the meditative yoga. And so it's important to understand all these links. And so Sphara Yoga could be translated by the yoga of the sides of the body. One tries to feel through the work on the nostril the two sides of the body like exactly balanced. And so it's like a scale, you know, to balance, to weight the vegetable or so on. When the two scales of the scale are equal, so the arrow of the scale is vertical. And so it's the same with our body. When the two sides of the body are balanced, we want to feel the energy which goes through the central channel, Sushumna. So it's important to understand that. It's simple, you know. If you balance, by balancing the two sides of the body, you will get this opening of the Sushumna. So that's the basis of this work, which is called Sphara Yoga. So the interpretation of Sphara Yoga is Sphar means sound. And so there are exoteric interpretation and esoteric interpretation. So you have to understand, usually they say Sphara Yoga is sound because when you do breathing in, breathing out, it's a different sound by one nostril and another one. So one nostril is the most closed, the other is open. One can try now. You do with the thumb. Do it, we will do some practice. Now with the other nostril. So usually when the body is at rest, one nostril is the most closed, the other nostril is open. But when the mind is agitated, the two nostrils are equally open. So it's a good test also to know if one is calm or a little agitated. But if one goes towards calm, one nostril closes and the other open. And if you observe at night, it becomes also usually clear at night. Maybe not during the first minutes when you lie down, because there is still the agitation of the mind coming from the day. But after 10-15 minutes, when you become calm, there is one nostril which is closed and one nostril which is open. And so that gives the basis of the work of Sphara Yoga. And so this Sphara Yoga has a text which is called Shiva Spharodek. Shivas Farode. So it's a short text which is on that, how to interpret opening of the narine, of the nostrils, how to work on them. Things to understand about neurosciences and so these nostrils. First, an experiment. You take people who know how to go into deep meditation. Not everyone knows, but some people they know. So you make a group with them and you take EEG, means electroencephalogram, and you ask them to push a button when they feel they go into deep meditation. And so the observation is as soon as they go into deep meditation, they have a synchronization of the two sides of the hemispheres, of the two hemispheres. You know there is electric activity in the two hemispheres, and so when they go into deep meditation, the electricity which was scattered becomes united. It's like a heart, it starts to pulse in a synchronized way, we say in neurology. And so that is very important because it means that probably they feel the two sides of their body exactly symmetrical, and through that, according to the theory of yoga, it means that energy starts to go into Sushumna. But with that experiment, one can objectify with the electroencephalogram. So that is important to this experience because somehow it validates this idea, traditional idea of opening the two nostrils, equalizing the two nostrils so that the energy could go into Sushumna. Now, so the second notion of neurosciences, probably you noticed it, when we do some physical effort, even only climbing a little quickly 3-4 floors, the two nostrils are opening. And so opening of the nostril is connected to effort. And so the idea of this Svara Yoga is that you meditate to, by consciousness, by awareness, to open one nostril, and so the brain understands that you are starting to do opening of this nostril, and so by opening of this nostril, your brain releases the neurotransmitters which are connected with the endorphins with the effort. And that is very important because endorphins gives you good meditation. And so it's important to understand this link because we have a way to start stimulating endorphins. And many people come to yoga because they are they have this feeling of depression, and by this opening of the nostril, quickly they can have these endorphins which stimulate them. And endorphin as a precursor of serotonin, and serotonin is the best natural antidepressant. So no need to take medicine. If you know how to maintain the opening of the nostril, you will release endorphin in your brain, which will help to increase the level of serotonin, and it will have the same effect with antidepressant, but more natural, so more durable. That's the idea also. So now we will do some practical suggestion of work to open the channels of energy. And so we will start by the classical Nadi Shodhana, and afterwards I will give more images and links to understand what is all about.
So I would like to understand one thing.
Yes.
When we are sleeping in the night,
Yes.
after lying in the bed, after 10-15 minutes, when we
Yes.
have fallen asleep,
Yes.
then both the nostrils are open equally.
No.
Or only one is open.
Only one is open.
Open.
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Only when we do meditation, that is the time both of them get open. Once we go deep into meditation, that is the time both the nostrils get open.
Yes, and when we do physical effort also,
Then
any simple physical effort opens nostril.
both the nostrils.
Means when you walk quietly, you have one nostril open, but when we walk briskly or when we run, so the two nostrils are opening.
Okay.
I mean the closed nostril is open.
Suppose I walk fast, then both the nostrils will open.
Yes, you can tell by yourself, it's very
all
good.
the way itself.
Yes.
Okay, so, and when I go into deep meditation, again both the nostrils are open.
So in deep meditation, often it's a feeling of the closed nostril which opens, but it may be only on the subtle plane. Means physically you will feel it's closed, but on the subtle plane you will feel as if it was open. That is very important.
Okay.
Because if it was sufficient to have the two nostrils open to be a great yogis, everyone who climbs 4 floors will become a great yogi, because when you climb 4 floors, you have the two nostrils open.
Yes.
Or when you run 100 meters, you have the two nostrils open. That's a physiological thing. So there is nothing special. Some Hatha yogi, they are very proud to tell, I have my two nostrils open through my Hatha yoga. But even if you run 100 meters, you will have the two nostrils open. It's nothing special on the physiological side. But what is special is to maintain this feeling of opening in the closed nostril, and that is opening of the subtle nadi.
Thank you.
Yes.
Jacques,
Oui.
perhaps you can tell about for people who have difficulties for sleeping, when they get away, that they use the open nostril to cheat the other part of the brain. And then they sleep easily.
What do you mean by this? Tell.
Well, when you check which nostril is open,
Yes.
and you put on the opposite side your body,
Yes.
and then from this, then it cheated your brain, and then you can sleep easily.
Yes. That is important, and I teach it for the past 15 years. So many people have benefited from this, and it's simple. When you go to bed, you check your nostril, and you choose, if you sleep on the side, to sleep on the size of the closed nostril. And why is it that? So it's understandable. It's not magic. When you do like this, you have your open nostril towards the ceiling, and your lung, which is towards the ceiling, dilates easily, while the lung towards the mattress is blocked in its expansion. And so you have this dilatation of the lung, which is on the side of the nostril, which is already open, dilated. And so it means there is no change of the size of the nostril, because there is a reflex link between the lung and the nostril. And so when the lung opens, bronchioles, you say in English, or open, so the nostril has a tendency to open. And if the nostril is already open, so it doesn't change anything. But if you do the reverse mode, when you sleep on the side of your open nostril, so the closed nostril will be towards the ceiling and will be induced to open due to the bigger opening of the lung. and this opening of the nostril will be like the beginning of strong effort, physical effort, like starting to run or starting to walk up several floors. And this opening of the nostril will wake up your brain, because when you start running, it's just the contrary of going to sleep, you know. So your brain, when it feels one nostril opening, interprets this as the beginning of an effort and refuses to go to sleep. So it seems detailed, but when you apply it, it helps a lot. You know? And so I taught that to thousands of people during my tour in France, and when I see them after 1 year, 2 years, they say it works and it helps them to sleep. Some they are very enthusiastic even because they have strong insomnia, and this simple system plus 2, 3 other things helps them to fall asleep. So that's a practical application of nadi opening.
That means if I sleep towards the left side like this, then this must be open.
No.
You
have to
Yeah,
check
down
first.
one must be open.
You have to check first which nostril is open.
Okay.
Yes.
It's never the same.
Yeah, suppose right is open. Suppose this is open,
Yes.
right is open.
Then you
My
sleep.
right is open, suppose.
Yes.
So I should sleep like this,
Yes, on the
Yes.
left.
towards the left.
Yes.
So that this nostril is towards the
Yes,
ceiling.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all.
And if it's
That's
the
all.
other one, the other side.
But it's important to understand why you do it, you know, like this, first you don't make mistake of side, and afterwards, so it's encouraging because you feel it. And so, because it's, people may ask how a slight, very light sensation of opening can dilate can prevent the sleep, but you can remember the mosquito. You know, mosquito is a very small sound, but still it can spoil all your night. You know,
Yes.
so the same little opening, a little awakening in the closed nostril can spoil all your night because it's continuous. You know,
Yeah.
it's not 10 seconds; it's for the whole night. It will be like this, and so it spoils your sleep. That's the idea.
Thank you.
So we will start the practice by Nadi Shodhana after 2-3 images, and we will go until 3:15, I think. So there are different variations in Nadi Shodhana, but the idea is to start breathing in by one nostril while you block the other, and when you have full lungs, you breathe out by the other nostril, and again you start. So the idea is you start by the same nostril by which you have just breathed out. Nostrils is a cave. And so, when you breathe in, opening the closed nostril, you imagine you are like a speleologist, someone who explores the cave, which finds a tunnel to go out of the cave, like a chimney, to go out of the cave. That is when you breathe in, and when you breathe out through the third eye, in the middle of the brow, and you see the light at that point. So breathing it, you come from the darkness below the closed nostril, and you find a way to open this closed nostril, and it's like a way which connects you to light. And you repeat on every breath cycle the same practice. Opening the closed nostril while inhaling, and exhaling light through the center of the brow when you exhale. There is an intelligent way to open the closed nostril, is just to relax. When you relax the body, the breathing, automatically the closed nostril is opening. Direct effect on anxiety. Anxiety is closing more the nostril, which is already closed. As it closes more the throat, which is already closed. As it closes more the solar plexus, which is already a little tense. So anxiety acts at these 3 levels. And when you open the closed nostril, you feel that you liberate these 3 levels. Now, very simple image to understand, to start to feel the link between the opening of the nostril and the opening of Sushumna, the central axis. It's like a bottle when you remove the cork. So the cork is the closed nostril, and the bottle itself is the central axis. So when you breathe in, you feel you are opening both the closed nostril and the full central axis. You imagine a pipe which is blocked at the top. If you open the top, the water can come out of the pipe and it circulates. It's very simple images, so you close the eyes, you try to feel. The golden rule of yoga is that if you feel, there is an effect. If you don't feel, there is no effect. Always come back to that. It needs concentration. It needs maturity to enter these yogic practices, because it needs to be inside, simply. Be attentive that the breathing is natural. Once it can be short, next time it can be long. Once it can be superficial, next time it can be deep. It depends upon what your body needs. Try to close your eyes to feel the breathing. Now we do the arm to finish. So arm, you can visualize it as gushing water from the center of the perineum through the central axis. A is in the basin, O in the heart, M in the center of the brow, center of the front. You feel this tripartition as it is recommended in the Mandukya Upanishad. So it's not Om, you do A-O-M, with the closed M, which vibrates in the center of the brow and which gives you joy. One makes the sound low pitch because it helps to relax the body and the mind. In fact, you know, with breathing you can do stretching as you do with the legs and the muscles. Means prolonging the breath helps to stretch something in us, and afterwards you are more relaxed. That's the idea of this protracted home. So one should train, and by training there are good results. It's not that easy to relax, but with this prolonged, protracted sound, it helps. And even religious chanting is in fact making the expiration longer, so it helps for that.
Sir, when we do the meditation,
Yes.
Does it do Nadi Shodhana always?
So Nadi Shodhana is a specific technique, you know. So if you are attentive to balance the sensation of the two sides of the body, it comes to Nadi Shodhana, you know. Even if you don't do the attention, the physical movement of the breathing, if you balance the two sides of the body, it has the same result as Nadi Shodhana. But you don't need to do with fingers. That is beginning with the fingers.
But sir, how to balance the left and right?
By sensation, you know, or by images, you feel that the right and left body of your, the left and right side of your body are like the two scales of a balance, and that your spine is like the needle of the balance of the scale, and like this you feel the verticality of this needle, like this. You can start like in Zen. In Zen meditation, you put the two hands on the knees and you balance like this, and afterwards, little by little, you do less and less, and at the end, you feel the exact verticality.
Okay.
Yeah, that is a good start, and afterwards you do it, but by imagination, not physically, by imagination, and little by little you will find this real verticality.
Can it be done?
Yes, that is connected with Zen. In Zen, they start every session like this. It's a ritual for them, but it's a good ritual because you find your balance.